Today I'll be discussing the cognitive and communicative abilities of domestic dogs, specifically the standard Schnauzer, and how research on canine cognition can improve animal-assisted education. Rather than simply ask whether dogs are intelligent, researchers now study how dogs think, learn, remember, communicate, and solve problems. Understanding these cognitive abilities helps us create training and educational programs that improve both student outcomes and canine welfare. Animal cognition refers to the mental processes animals use to acquire, process, store, and apply information. Intelligence reflects how effectively those cognitive abilities allow animals to solve problems and adapt to their environment. Standard Schnauzers provide an excellent example because they were originally bred for independent farm work while also cooperating closely with people. They were selected for problem solving, social awareness, and behavioral flexibility. Dogs excel at interpreting human gestures, facial expressions, and tone of voice. Instead of relying solely on instinct, they learn from experience and modify their behavior based on previous outcomes. This demonstrates that cognition develops through interactions between genetics, learning, and the environment rather than being fixed at birth. For animal-assisted education, these abilities allow dogs to work cooperatively with both handlers and students. Dogs experience the world very differently than humans. Their hearing detects frequencies beyond our range, and they are remarkably sensitive to changes in vocal tone and emotional expression. Perception goes beyond simply detecting sound or scent. Dogs interpret sensory information to recognize familiar people, assess emotional states, and decide how to respond. For a therapy dog working in a classroom, these perceptual abilities are especially important. A dog may recognize subtle signs of student anxiety through body language, vocal changes, or scent before humans notice them. Understanding these sensory differences allows handlers to design environments that support learning while reducing unnecessary stress for the dog. Cognitive reasoning allows dogs to use previous experiences to solve new problems rather than simply repeating learned behaviors. Human pointing, gaze direction, facial expressions, and body language have been shown to help dogs understand humans. They also categorize people and situations, allowing them to generalize previous learning to unfamiliar environments. Importantly, reasoning is influenced by memory, motivation, and emotional state. A confident, relaxed dog is much more likely to make effective decisions than a stressed dog. This means successful animal-assisted education depends not only on training, but also on maintaining positive emotional experiences that support good decision-making. Understanding canine cognition allows handlers to create learning environments that benefit both students and dogs. Positive reinforcement produces stronger learning, better problem solving, and greater confidence than punishment-based training. Cognitive enrichment through scent work, puzzles, exploration, and opportunities for choice also supports healthy brain function. Chronic stress interferes with attention, memory, and learning, according to research. Because of this, effective animal-assisted education requires monitoring both physical and emotional well-being. Applying the 5 domain models ensures that cognitive needs are considered alongside physical health, allowing dogs to remain willing and enthusiastic participants. Dogs learn extensively by watching both humans and other dogs. This social learning allows them to acquire new behaviors much more efficiently than through trial and error alone. Dogs have been known to possess self-awareness in research studies, although it is expressed differently than in humans. Rather than relying on mere recognition, studies using scent discrimination indicate dogs recognize information related to themselves. These findings remind us that intelligence should always be evaluated using methods appropriate for species being studied. For animal-assisted education, social learning helps dogs adapt to the classroom, routines, interpret student behavior, and respond appropriately in changing situations. Memory is essential for learning because it allows dogs to store and retrieve information from previous experiences. Studies of episodic-like memory show dogs remember human actions even when they do not expect to be tested. Additional research suggests dogs can also remember their own previous actions. These findings indicate memory involves much more than simple stimulus-response associations. For handlers, this means positive experiences accumulate over time, strengthening learning and confidence, while repeated stressful experiences may negatively influence future performance. Supporting memory through positive training, enrichment, and predictable routines ultimately improves both cognition and welfare. Dogs communicate through body posture, facial expressions, vocalizations, scent, and interactions with humans. Research into button communication has generated considerable interest, but current evidence suggests these systems demonstrate meaningful communication rather than human-like language. Traditional canine communication remains the most reliable indicator of a dog's emotional state and welfare. Handlers who understand these communication signals can recognize early signs of stress, adjust the environment, and prevent welfare problems before they escalate. Ultimately, understanding canine communication improves both educational outcomes and the well-being of the dogs participating in animal-assisted education. Canine cognition research demonstrates that dogs are capable of sophisticated learning, memory, social reasoning, communication, and flexible decision-making. These abilities do not exist independently. They interact with emotion, social relationships, perception, and the environment. For animal-assisted education, the most effective programs are those that recognize dogs as active cognitive partners rather than passive tools. By applying evidence-based training, providing cognitive enrichment, respecting communication signals, and prioritizing welfare through the 5 domains model, we create programs that benefit both students and the dogs who work alongside them. Thank you for listening. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.